All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Winning Wednesday. Say that 10 times fast. Winning Wednesday, right? So if you repeat it over and over in your head, you will be a winner, guaranteed. So this is what, Jeannie, week 4? Am I right?
I think it's week 4. Yeah,
Week 4. Wow, how did we get here already?
I
All
know.
right, so we are live in a lot of different places. So if you guys are joining us live today, please say hello. Let us know what platform you're watching from and what you're up to today. Would love to know what your thoughts are because this is what we're going to get into talking about the world of social media today. And remember when, let's say 3, 4, 5 years ago, some of us have been doing this a while. 3, 4, 5 years ago, we pretty much had Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and for those people that did a little on Twitter or on Pinterest, right? But now I feel like every time I open up my phone, there is another app, there is another social media platform. And for those of us that are in this entrepreneurial space, and this is what we're going to get into talking about today, because I think it's going to help everybody, it's a really valid conversation. So here's the title: Social Media in 2023. Should you be in all the places? Or should you really get good at one or two things? Like, what is the answer? And we're not here to tell you what's right or wrong. We're here to share some things that are working for us and some sort of rhythm that we have with our businesses, because we're in separate, obviously, we have our own businesses here. But some of the things that are working for us and how we kind of help it flow together and how we determine whether or not you should go investigate this new place. So that's really what we're going to get into talking about today. So if you guys are new to watching our Winning Wednesday, we started this series, as I mentioned, 4 weeks ago, because we saw this gap on social media where there's just a lot of noise, and we wanted to bring you things in your life that would help you win, whether you're launching a business, you have an established business, you want to improve your health, like whatever in life you want to win at. We're going to talk about all those things that are relevant. So today, because of some things that we've kind of experienced recently, we thought we would talk a little about social media and what's going on in the world of social media. So Jeannie, tell us, like, what's going on with social media just since January. Tell us what's going on in the world of
It,
Wi-Fi and social
yeah.
media.
It seems like there's an app popping up like every single week. It's crazy. It's so hard to keep up with. And I know that before all of this, people have been trying to keep up, like before it was like Facebook, Instagram, and then TikTok, right? And Pinterest, and then YouTube. And it's really hard to like figure out where should you be. I think the big thing came up with a lot of these things started popping up when we started hearing about TikTok being banned. That
Mm.
was like that kind of like pushed people over to other platforms because they're kind of scared, scared of TikTok being banned eventually. And then where do they go? So they're starting on other platforms like Clapper. Um, and it's just been, yeah.
Not sure what to think about it yet.
And that's
Full
part of the
disclaimer.
thing. I mean, you gotta roll with it, right? And we're never guaranteed a platform forever. You don't know if you're gonna get shut down your account, or if they're going to be shut down for whatever reason, or if just like viewership decreases on the platform for whatever reason. So you have to be like ready to pivot at any moment in your business. And this is where we're at. We have all these apps that pop up, and you can't just like say, oh my gosh, I have to be everywhere because I'm not going to have a business if I'm not. You just have to select the platform that where your audience is. Just go where your audience is. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of this since January, just apps popping up left and right. How about you, Sonia?
Yeah, so let's walk down this super highway a little bit. So Facebook is the OG, right? So, I mean,
Mhm.
there's Twitter, but I don't know if you're in the world of business, maybe use Twitter. I would love to know in the comments, do you use Twitter? I have a
Mhm.
Twitter account and I like pop over there once in a while, but for the most part, I'm like, no, not interested. And then, of course, Facebook being, we'll call Facebook the OG. And what's cool about Facebook is that, you've got profiles, you've got business pages, you've got groups. For those of us that are in network marketing, it's the way we connect our teams. We
Mhm.
use a system that helps our team, introduce our products and opportunity to their prospects called the ATM or ad tag message system. So that lives on Facebook. We have Facebook Messenger. I mean, there's so many features of Facebook. So I feel like, and even I was listening to a video, a live this week, and we were talking about, or they were talking about the trends for social media, like where's going to be the hot spot. And Facebook still comes back to number one. So I think it's safe to say that everybody should be on Facebook.
Yeah.
And, regardless of what your opinions are, and I try to look at all of these platforms through the eyes of business. And yes, there are social platforms as well. So you want to be social and you want to be a good human and all of that. But, I think it's important to look at each platform as to what is the purpose of this platform? What do I want to accomplish here? And is this the right thing? You said that so key. You said, where's my audience, right? The other platform, and we're live here right now, that I really love is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a community, a huge community.
Yeah.
Kudos to my LinkedIn people of professionals who are kind of looking for a job, a business opportunity, sharing a business opportunity, or some combination of those things. So for those of us that are in network marketing or any business of any sort, I feel like LinkedIn is a great place to meet other like-minded professionals. I mean, would you agree,
Yeah.
Jeannie?
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, I started out when I went into online, marketing. I actually started out in LinkedIn. I think
Mm.
it's a fantastic community of professionals. So yeah, I love it there. So I totally agree with that.
And then we've got Instagram, which is
Yeah.
forever changing, right? So
Mhm.
Instagram Reels, we've got Instagram, stories, we've got, carousels, we've got, just your Instagram profile. I mean, there's so many moving pieces. And I will say that this is, in my opinion, the one platform that is forever changing.
Oh
So
gosh, every week. Oh my, just
yeah,
yeah.
every week, right? I think since day one, it's been for me the biggest frustration. I don't know about you, but
Yes.
I mean, it's like more so just from the standpoint of always keeping up with the changes. And,
Mhm.
it's kind of known as the influencer platform, right? Although now influencers live in multiple places and there are different levels of being an influencer, right?
Yeah.
So, what defines you as an influencer? Is it the number of followers you have? Is it what you do for a living? Like what defines you, right? So
Right.
there's micro influencers now, and then, levels of micro influencers. And in my opinion, if you have a following of one or more, you're influencing somebody, right?
Yes.
So, we have to look at all these platforms kind of through the lens of who hangs out there. So, beyond LinkedIn and Instagram, we have TikTok. And then I feel like Clapper. So, if those of you guys who are new to maybe hearing some of these that we're bringing up, Clapper, I don't know when it officially came out, but it's like starting to come on the scene now with
Mhm.
all of the, I don't know, unknown future of TikTok. But
Yeah.
TikTok really was the birth of short form video, and short form video, I don't really care where you hang out right now, is the king. And so
Yeah.
whether that's Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Clapper, I don't know, did I miss anybody?
Yeah, 'cause yeah,
Uh,
I totally agree. Even Pinterest. Yeah.
Pinterest, yeah, okay. So and then also too, now we have another one called Lemonade.
Mhm.
And Lemonade, I'm just starting to play with a little bit. It's really interesting because it's like blogging meets Pinterest, meets short form video, meets like
Mhm.
OG Instagram when you just made a post
Yeah.
about whatever and put a nice pretty picture. That's like Lemonade. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for business that could be really powerful as well too. Or if you have like a coaching business, or if you're in the health and wellness field and you do a lot of, cooking or, recipes, things like that, I feel like that could be a really powerful platform for you as well.
Yeah.
And so I think it really comes down to, what is your target audience? Who do
Mhm.
you want to serve? And how much time do you have to dedicate? I mean, so
Yeah.
Jeannie, you work a full-time job. So tell me, like, I can see you like juggling all these balls in the air. How do you handle all these platforms and where do you hang out?
So I would say my advice is to come up with one piece of content and then repurpose that content,
Mhm.
video and post. It could be about the same topic, could be different, but you always want to have a short form video going out on a daily basis, minimum 3 times a week for sure. But
Mhm.
whatever you decide, just be very consistent with that schedule so your audience knows when to expect those new videos. The other thing is, you can batch create. So you can batch create your videos in advance. And so then just post them as you go. So this way you're not spending, hours doing this stuff on a daily basis. Like I don't have time for that. I'm working. And so when you see new stuff going out, a lot of times it's pre-planned, it's already been recorded in advance, it's batched content, all of that stuff is already done. All I'm doing is just post, 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 post. It takes me a few minutes every single day. Repurposing is basically taking that piece of content and putting it on the other platforms and sharing it out. You're just taking your short video, putting it in the stories, putting it you're posting it, you're putting it in your groups, wherever you can find. The more you share, the more people you can attract to you. That's just the way it is. And if you're repurposing content, you don't have to spend a lot of time on the platform. Often, like on Insta, like I start out, my main platform is Facebook, and then I repurpose to Instagram. And actually, I do the short form video on TikTok, and I repurpose the video, but I actually post on Facebook and I repurpose that content out. So yeah, so it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, now Clapper, LinkedIn, of course, and YouTube once in a while, but not quite yet. I'm not there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube Shorts is coming on the scene pretty strong. So I think,
Yeah,
it's more like, I don't know, having a checklist of all the places, right?
yeah,
So I think what I hear you saying, and that's kind of similar to what I do as well, is that you have like your main platforms. And I think both of us would agree, Facebook and LinkedIn are definitely, two of the OGs that will always be there, that are
mhm,
an important part of doing business or just communicating with people. I think Facebook has the biggest audience and probably always will. I mean, who knows? Something might surpass it.
yeah,
But when you look at like the editing features and things on TikTok, it is the best, right? Hands down. I mean, Facebook and Instagram Reels, they have, things that you can create video over there as well too. But to me, it's just not as what's the word I want to use? That there's not as many cool features and it's not as user friendly. So
mhm,
I personally, when I create my content on TikTok, I use an app called Save Talk that removes the watermark. Now it's not perfect. If you have music playing in the background, sometimes the lip syncing is a little off. But what I've noticed, and this is really interesting, is if you're doing original content with no music playing, the lips are fine, at least on my end.
okay,
Go figure. So maybe, it's and interestingly enough, they're saying that the days of all the trending audios and sounds are kind of decreasing anyway. Although
mhm,
interestingly enough, it still works for some people. And
yeah,
so I think you just got to do what works best for you. But I've found kind of mixing it up. So I'll do maybe one piece of original content to two trends, and then I'll do an original, then I'll do two trends, right? Because you need to mix up for people that like certain things. Now,
yeah,
what's your opinion, Jeannie? Because TikTok, and I guess it depends what you're talking about, right?
yeah.
So, how do we use TikTok content on LinkedIn? Do you ever?
No, that's a great question. Like the audience on LinkedIn, totally different than the audience on TikTok. So you have to really keep that in mind. There's no way. I've never really repurposed that kind of content unless it's about business.
Mm,
Because again, the audience on LinkedIn much more professional. There are people that are looking for employment, or they're looking for opportunities, or they have businesses that they're marketing on LinkedIn and they're just networking. So you have to definitely keep in mind who your audience is when you're repurposing content. So there's no way that I would take a TikTok, especially a trending video, and put it on LinkedIn. It's the wrong audience.
But if somebody was like a health and wellness influencer and that's all they did, and then that's the way they presented themselves on LinkedIn, I
Mhm.
think and this is something that I've done personally, and again, you have to select the right videos,
Yeah.
is I use an app called Mojo. And if you guys are looking for tools, we'll talk more about tools in the future, but this is a tool that I use, an app called Mojo, where you can take, again, you remove the watermark,
Mhm.
then you take that video and you resize it for a post. And so if somebody was like,
Oh.
doing a health and wellness conversation over on TikTok, and
Mhm.
that's who their audience was on LinkedIn as well, too, is people that they were educating about health and wellness. They could easily take that same video,
Mhm.
change the size, and use it over on LinkedIn, and maybe change the about section of the post, elaborate a little bit more. But
Yeah.
that's one way that you could use a TikTok over on LinkedIn. Probably doesn't happen every day. I
Yeah.
think for me, more commonly, I tend to cross pollinate between Facebook and a post, not my
Mhm.
videos, but a Facebook post
Yes.
and a LinkedIn post. What I might do though is I might change the conversation a little bit. So
Mhm.
again, what we're trying to do for those of you guys that are listening, we're trying to teach you how to work smarter, not harder. So
Yeah.
you take one photo and you move it over to LinkedIn, and then you change the conversation a little bit so it's
Mhm.
a little bit more professional, maybe fewer emojis. I mean, things that are more relevant to a professional environment. And when
Yes.
you do all these things, it really becomes a lot easier to be in all the places. Now, does that mean you're the master in all the places? I mean, for me personally, my biggest following actually is on, well, if you combine all the places on Facebook,
Mhm.
Facebook and LinkedIn are probably pretty similar. I've got over 20,000 connections on LinkedIn. So actually LinkedIn probably has more, probably, 15 to 18,000 with all the people over on Facebook. And then TikTok, I'm closing in on 11,000. So to me, I look at it is where's my audience? And it's kind of the order that I just said, right? But then from there, because TikTok would be third in line for me, I'm creating those short form videos there and then simply moving the content to the other places. Because you said something really key earlier. You never know when one of the other places takes off. So you have to be
Yeah.
ready for that. But it's
Absolutely.
easy to way to like keep your foot in the door with those others, because I don't spend a ton of time on YouTube. I probably should.
Mhm. Mhm.
But again, you have to pick and choose. And so I've got my foot in the door on YouTube, but it's not like my main place. So I
Yeah.
would say my personal opinion is pick your top three.
I
Get
agree.
good
Yeah.
at those top three and then repurpose in all the other places.
Yeah, because I will say, not so long ago, my account was actually shut down on TikTok.
Mhm.
I still don't know why to this day, but you have to be ready to pivot. And if you don't have, even if your foot in the door on the other platforms, you're starting from scratch. So luckily, yes, I was starting from scratch on TikTok, but I still had things going on the other platforms. I wasn't so concerned about it, you know. So that's the other reason why you want to be, as they say, omnipresent. You want to be on several platforms because you want more followers and you want people to see your content. The more people that see your content, the higher chances you have of, marketing to the right people, right? But the other piece of it is, having your account shut down. There's always that, possibility. You don't own your social media account. So if it gets shut down, what do you do if you only are on that platform? So that's the other reason why you want to be on other places.
Well, and I think too, cross-pollinating the people, right? So if you
Yeah.
meet, like in our business, for example, if we meet people on LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, our system for kind of showing what our business is about is over on Facebook. So we're oftentimes moving people from LinkedIn over to Facebook because God forbid something should happen on LinkedIn, now we're still connected over on Facebook, right? So it's teaching you how to work smarter, not harder, because if you do all of this every day, it really is very easy to manage. Jeannie,
It
you said
really is.
take your
Yeah.
videos, put them in your stories too. Just make sure that and this is a key tip. This is kind of a pro tip that I didn't fully understand at first, because every platform, there's different lengths of the video, right? So the one drawback of doing a longer form video on TikTok is that you can't put it in the stories,
Right.
right? Because it's too long. So you just have to be okay on those days with doing something separate for your stories. And it is what it is, right? But any of those like trending things are usually 15 seconds or less. So they can go in all the places.
Yeah.
And as we've seen over and over again, and kind of whether we like it or not, the less eyeballs on live video, even though we still love it, because people's attention spans are like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we've all been guilty of it, and I'm trying to be very present when I engage with people on social media, because I think it's important not just to scroll, but to actually know who you connected to this person for a reason. Like, get to know them. And in order to get to know them, like, it's a give and a take, right? You can't just show up with expectation that they should come follow you, right? You have to reciprocate.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting engagement somewhere, it's probably because you're not engaging enough there. So that's another just pro tip, is just, be present. And that's why I pick those top 3 places and be present there. The others, foot in the door. You're kind of maybe there on times where maybe, as we've both have had happened, going to Facebook jail or something for a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Messenger jail, like, it's happened to the best of us. That's what when you start to become too social, I guess they don't like that. I don't know. Social media, they don't like you to be too social.
I guess, yeah. Another tip too is, if you plan on having a longer video, what I do is I'll record, actually I'll record it on my phone, and I will make sure it's within 15 seconds, and I'll just do several clips of that. And then I'll share that on my stories, because it's 15 seconds or less. And then I'll create one big video to go out on TikTok.
Oh, that's a great idea. So that's an example of not starting on TikTok, but in starting on your phone.
Your phone, yeah.
Yeah, and you can do that same thing, recording inside of Facebook stories itself. And then if you want to play with the fun filters or whatever, you can do that, right? So there's so many different options, but I think the moral of the story, and we'll kind of land the plane with this, is pick 3 places that you can get really good at. And if you're brand new, pick 1 place.
Yeah.
Then you branch off to 2, and then 3. Like, don't overwhelm yourself. You got to look at what can I take? I get excited because I know you do too, Jeannie.
Yeah.
We do this for a living. So we get excited when we see something new.
I do.
And at first we go, oh, another one, but it's exciting, right? So Clapper, let's kind of close on that one, because we're all looking at Clapper as like, is this the new version of TikTok? But there's a couple unique differences in that Clapper is all adults, so there's no kids on no kids on Clapper like there is on TikTok. And it's also more, it's less perfected content, I guess, is what I would say. The only thing that I've seen that I'm a little unsure of is I'm having a hard time with the algorithm getting the right people on my For You page.
Yeah.
TikTok's algorithm is so smart. You watch one video on the sea, right? I won't say the word, but you watch one video on somebody's opinion on the sea, and you've got like a whole feed full of videos on the sea, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, within like 2 videos, TikTok knows send you more videos on that because it thinks you like that content.
Right.
I don't see the same thing on Clapper yet. And maybe I'm just not there yet, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and I would say the big difference too is that they're very, very much about community there. The more you engage, and if you participate in the groups that they have in there, the more you get rewarded with people viewing your content. But my concern is the time that you have to spend on Clapper in order to be rewarded for that. So it's like I don't have, 30 minutes a day to go spend time on Clapper. I have other platforms that I need to be in. But if Clapper is your main platform, then I think it's a pretty good place to be. If that's where you want to focus your energy.
Good point. So at this point for me, it's a foot in the door.
Yeah.
But it may become more. Who knows? I thought TikTok would be a foot in the door at first, and it made it to the top 3. To me, TikTok has surpassed Instagram just because of the things I said earlier. In my opinion, my very humble opinion about Instagram. So this is really great conversation. Did we leave anything out? I mean, I just wanted to open everybody's minds to, because there's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of, I think, fear, especially if somebody is joining like a home-based business for the first time, and that, do I have to do what they're doing? Do I have to be in all these places? And that's really why we wanted to have this conversation, because you can't win at anything if you're overwhelmed and not having fun with it, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, just pick your top 3. And if you're brand new, pick one and then work from there.
I love it. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for hanging in there with us, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.